Hello, friends. My name is Jake Montanez, and this is my self publishing writing vlog where I'm documenting my journey to getting my first novel published. And yesterday, I finally got back my editor copy from my editor, and we had a very interestingly long 5-page editor letter that she sent me, and it confirmed a lot of the things that I had considered about my story that might need fixing, and a lot of it really centered on world building, which, while was more than adequate in her mind, she thought it was amazing. There was more that I needed to work on in the front half of the book, so I'm gonna have to go back and go through it with a fine tooth comb, and that really boils down a lot, I think, to the fact that I have all of the information in my head and I'm trying to drip feed it out in a way that doesn't reveal too much, but leaves enough of a bread trail for the readers to follow if they're actually fully engaged in the book. And maybe my thought process behind that could be flawed a little bit, and I think I can probably do a little bit better with what some of the guidance that she provided, some of the things that I can fill out and create uh, the plaster over some of the holes that I've left in the narrative. I guess is probably the best way to put that. But overall, she thought that I did an amazing job. Like, I think she said amazing 3 times in the course of 3 sentences, some of it back to back. So that was really good to hear. A lot of my initial concerns about the story, because I had not received any real feedback from anybody on this yet, was that it would come back and she would absolutely hate it, or that there were things about it that just pulled her out of the story or anything like that. And there were a few of those instances, which I'll own up to. Some of the things are jarring. Some of the things, I have interludes in the story that are meant to be uh, presaging some things that are going to come along perhaps in the second book or third book even, and maybe it's a little too early to have those things in there, so I may need to rethink about how I'm providing that information to the story without taking away what I was trying to do with those interludes. And it's just a little bit of reworking. I have a lot of things that are already written for the second book that I can actually pull a lot of those up into the first book, I think, especially where it concerns my epigraphs, these little paragraphs at the beginning of my chapters. A lot of the world building issues that she had were dealing with the construction of like the society that my characters live in. And a lot of that is actually answered a lot better, and actually is developed more, I think, in the epigraphs for the second book rather than in the first book. And I may be swapping those between the first and second books just to provide more context directly to what's going on, as opposed to the more larger overarching in the beginning there was light and void and darkness and things like that that I start with. So if I think I can bring that all down to the world itself and just have those things front and center from the beginning, as well as creating the parallelism that I'm trying to go for with the epigraphs I've got in the second book. I think I can help uh, clarify a lot of those issues. Uh, Other than that, it's a lot of very basic, get rid of this word, get rid of that punctuation, change this capital letter to a lowercase letter or vice versa. And I'm totally on board with a bunch of those. It probably won't take me more than a day to fix those. It's going to be digging deeper into the questions that she has about character motivations, or why did they say this, or why did they do this action instead of this other thing, or can you describe this a little bit better so that I'm experiencing it rather than you just telling me that this is the thing that's happening? And I agree with a lot of those recommendations that she has, so I'll have to go through and dig in deep, I guess, to figure out how I want to address those. But I'm sure it won't be as bad of a thing as I thought it might be initially going into this waiting period that I've had for receiving my edits back. And overall, I'm very pleased with the result that I've gotten from her and all the effort that she put into the questions that she's got and the curiosity that she has for some of the things that are going on in the story. And I think I can bring those a little bit further to light because at the end of the day, I do have all the answers. And if I don't quite have all the answers, I kind of at least know where it's going. So I can go, all right, what exactly is this that I was trying to say here? And can I rephrase this in a better way or depict it in a better way so that it's easier for the reader to understand? Because I don't want there to be a lot of confusion, but I do want there to be some mystery or some hints of things that are to come, or for the reader to be able to look back and go, oh shit, that was actually there from the very beginning, and I didn't quite recognize what you were putting down. And I really like to have that come through towards the end of the story. Maybe not in the first book, but to have those breadcrumbs all the way through the overall story that isn't entirely encompassed in just this one book, so that by the end of the journey that we're taking with these characters, a lot of things will make a lot more sense, and you can go back and reread it with that new understanding and conceptualization of what's going on, and be able to figure out that, yeah, I do have a master plan and that things are going on. And I can't wait to go back and fix the little idiosyncrasies that I need to go fix. And I'll just leave you here with a little bit of text and some of the comments that she had for me. And thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.